Заместитель, руководитель проекта Limux муниципалитета города Мюнхена. Проект по переходу на СПО. Начнем, пожалуй.
I will talk in English because my Russian is very bad still. So if I talk too fast or you don't understand everything, just raise your hand and I will try to make it clear. Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you, Rosa Labs, for having me here. And I would like to take the opportunity to give a short overview about the state of free and open source software in Germany. Perhaps we could learn a thing or two. So let's get started. Is this one working? Okay, that's me during Cologne Carnival. I live in Cologne, so sometimes I'm dressed up like this. And yeah, my name is Stefana Kellera, in Russian Stefana Kellerer or something like that. And I work as a freelancing consultant, mostly in free and open source software. And actually I'm working as a test analyst for the Limux project in Munich. And yeah, I'm one of the longest standing member of this project. I started in 2006 and now I'm still, or again, on it. And I hope to finish it successfully. So, what are today's topics? I will talk about 3 projects, 1 successful and 2 not so successful. But nevertheless, it's interesting to see how things work out and why. So, first, the most interesting, I think, many things that were talked about in theory, perhaps you can see now some real-life implementation and how the Munich people did it in practice. One word, I'm, as I said, freelancer, so I'm not officially speaking for the city of Munich because I don't work in the city of Munich, I just work for the city of Munich. So it's not official word, it's just my view. Okay, short our side, how it began. It started all in 2001 because Windows NT 4, some of you remember perhaps, support ran out. And they were thinking what to do next. And they were looking for alternatives. And there are not a usual alternative is Windows 2000 or Windows XP or whatever, but some cool people were thinking, why not use something else? And they commissioned a study and to know about the costs, about only Linux, mixed, Windows with some open source components like OpenOffice and Firefox and Thunderbird, or just proprietary. And it came out about equal. The costs were about the same, says the study. So they did not have a real reason not to use Linux, because costs are about the same. Okay, and then in 2003 they made an official decision to switch to Linux. Very efficient goals they didn't meet, but nevertheless they made this decision. Okay, and they had very interesting goals defined for this project. They did want to get rid of vendor lock-ins. They didn't want to be dependent on 1 or 2 or 3 companies anymore. They want to have freedom of choice what to do next. They didn't want to have to buy new hardware because the new Windows version needs new hardware and stuff like that. So that was one big reason to become vendor independent. And the stated goal was to migrate 80% of the clients until 2006 they missed this goal, but they reached it some days ago. So you can say now officially that the Limux project in Munich has been successful because we reached this 12,000 workplaces. They decided also to not use Linux when it doesn't make any sense. Like if you have CAD software or Photoshop or something like that, it's not usable under a Wine or a crossover or whatever. It doesn't make sense, so they stated 80% are enough. And again, one stated goal was to strengthen local small and medium enterprises. And that's very interesting because they really did it. And many companies took profit. Because of course it's better if the money stays inside the town or the country than when it goes overseas somewhere else. So that was also a stated goal. And of course one of the big problems are all the special software products you need in governmental environments to, I don't know, to define the taxes for dogs or stuff like that. Of course, it was all written in like Visual Basic Application or even older languages. So they had to put out the plan to make its operating system independent, either web-based or using like Java technology or something like that. So that were the strategy goals, which were very nicely defined and very useful, I think, because in the end they also worked, and they worked good. So just a short overview about the city of Munich. It's one city, of course, of 1,400,000 people. I think the fourth biggest, third biggest in Germany. But it's not one entity inside the city. There are like 13 different departments called Referate for, I don't know, cultural things, for sports and schools and everything. And they were all completely independent. They didn't have a plan to work together. Everybody buys their own software, own hardware. It was completely heterogeneous environment. Fortunately, no Windows server there, but some Unix and novel and stuff like that. So, and they didn't have a central file and print server. It was all also heterogeneous. But what they did have, and that was very important, they did have a central directory server, and that's the tool we used to configure and deploy the infrastructure, the Linux-based infrastructure in the city of Munich. So, what seemed strange, but was perhaps a good idea, is the strategy to start on the desktop, because usually you finish your backend, make everything fine and good. All your servers can communicate with the operating system of the client, and then you might migrate the client. But they decided to start on the client side, which is really strange, and yeah, many problems came out of that. But in the end, also this worked, because now they have a consolidated service provider inside the city called IT@M. And through this Limux project, though it's only a migration project, they succeeded in centralizing the IT. And maybe that was the main goal of this Limux project. I don't know, but it's very good that now one service provider has everything under control, so they can choose which file server, which mail server, which, I don't know, whatever, everybody has to use. And of course then it's much easier to put on top a Linux-based client. Okay, just some information about the technique. So the Limux clients, they are called Basis clients in German for reasons unknown, I don't know. In the beginning they were based on Debian, Linux, And then a big company came in and switched it to Ubuntu, LTS. At the moment, I will show you later what we are using at the moment. So, the system config management is done via a directory server front end called Goza. And there you can, as an admin, you can configure all stuff. You can configure what packages to deploy on the client and which resolution of the screen a user should have. Everything is done inside this Goza thingy. And naturally, then all this information is stored into the directory server, which is a bit unusual, but until now it worked. And the deployment is not image-based, but packet-based, so you are very flexible in choosing which packages to deploy. You can have inside your organizational unit, you can make classes that are really different. Some people get like 50 applications, some people get like 20 applications. You can choose what to deploy. So installation takes about 50 minutes, so it's not so fast, not so slow. And what's interesting is that all user data is independent of the system, so you can have roaming reusers, where one user can go to any desktop inside the department and log in there and gets all the user-specific data, like, I don't know, the background picture of the desktop, which is very important. If you want to upgrade the client, you can make a real upgrade in minor versions, like 4.0 to 4.1. If you switch to 5.0, you have to do a new install, but because all user data is independent, it doesn't really matter. People don't recognize if their machines freshly installed because it looks the same. Okay, that is a very old picture, but it's still defines the situation. I'm not going to talk about technical details now, but that is the setup, how this deployment system and configuration system works. If you have any questions about it, you can, of course, ask me or email me or whatever. I will try to explain them. Perhaps interesting, this, what you see down here, FAI, fully automatic installation, is a script set to deploy huge installations for like clusters. And for the city of Munich, it was adapted to deploy desktop PCs. Okay, that is the client that is actually then used, and it was released some weeks ago, called client 4.1 plus, because it has some extra packages put on top. It's based on 10.04 LTS Ubuntu. Uses a backported 3.0 kernel and still KDE 3, because the switch to KDE 4 must be well prepared, because the users are now used to KDE 3 for like 5 or 6 years, and yeah, it's hard to configure the desktop the way that it looks rather the same, and people become friendly with it again. So the rest is rather usual stuff, Firefox Thunderbird. The only proprietary thingy in it is an Oracle calendar, which is so old that if you look at it, your eyes hurt. But okay, it still works somehow. So, this is, I think, interesting for you, because it shows how the city of Munich worked together with companies in Germany. So, as I said before, spring 2006, the whole thing got started, the implementation got started. Unicus, the company I worked for then, won the tender. And we worked there for like 2.5 years, and also did all this system and config management stuff so that the client can get deployed. And the city of Munich wanted to have their own team of developers and support people, and during the time they tried to build this team. And in the beginning it was 11 internal people, now it's 18. They're doing office configuration, development, patching stuff, and also support, third level support. Okay, and what is interesting, this company Gonicus, that originally won the tender, they invented GOSA. GOSA is also free software. It's a Gonicus system administrator. And when the budget was finished and new tender went out, and another company won the tender to support the product Gonicus initially developed. So, and that is only, I think, possible with free and open source software, because the source code is available. They can look into the source code, they can do their own patches, they can take it, they can fork it, they can do whatever. They can push useful things upstream. And so for Gonicus, of course, it was not so nice, but it shows that there is a business opportunity for everybody who is able to learn this free software thing, if the source code is available. Okay, any questions so far? Okay. Okay, as I said before, now it's officially successful. We reached 12,500 installations in November this year. And there will be one more release during the project lifetime. The project officially ends in October of 2013, and afterwards it goes into the ITM organization. And one big jump is that we now officially develop the thing using agile development methods like Scrum. Let's see how this works out. Okay, now also very interesting. Though the initial study said the costs will be about the same, this turned out to be untrue. Because many political opposition people in the city of Munich, they ask about, well, let's switch back to Microsoft, it's better, it's a market leader, everything works fine. So the project sometimes has to answer these official questions and give official answers. And though it has never been a stated goal to save money, they did save money on a huge scale. And the latest numbers, they saved about 10 million euros, which is huge. And they saved because they didn't have to pay licenses for operating system, for applications. They can use hardware longer because Ubuntu 10.04 runs on hardware that Windows 7 doesn't like. And everything runs rather smoothly. Of course, there are many problems, many difficult situations, but the support calls stay the same or even become less the more Linux clients are deployed. So that's very interesting. So it shows it's not only a strategic success, but also success saving money. So now you could say, okay, super project, everybody should do it. And in the beginning of the project, everybody was very interested, and there came delegations from South Africa and Vietnam and I don't know what. And though the city of Munich always invited everybody to come, and to see how it works, and to not keep knowledge by themselves, but to spread the knowledge and the solution. Nobody really followed until now. Nobody took this solution and said, oh, okay, give it to me, I will customize for my environment and use it. Nobody did that, as far as I know. So that is a bit strange from me, because it's a good solution. It works, it's flexible, and you can have it. It's there. One interesting thing, though, came out of this project is this little thingy here, Limux, which is a word play in German. I cannot translate. This is a templates manager written in Java, and it's very sophisticated. So the government people, they have to use the special templates, and they have sometimes to have a special workflow using these templates. Like it goes then to Department B, but Department B is only allowed to see one section, and one section has to be hidden, and then it has to be printed out 13 times during 7 weeks on printer, I don't know what, something like that, and that you can do with this Limux thing. And it's free and open source software. It's published into the European public license. And you can find it on limux.org and download it. I can show you on my machine if you are interested to see how it works. And this project spread a bit more. So there are some cities using this Limux, and there are also some companies using Limux in some strange environments. Okay, that shows the worldwide interest in the project. As you can see, it goes down, 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 unfortunately. Let's hope that it goes up, up, up some time again. Okay, that was my story about the Limux project in Munich. Now come the sad stories. Okay, I will be very, very fast because it's so sad. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in German it's Auswärtiges Amt, so I will call it AA. It's shorter. They also switched somehow to free software. Initially, they wanted to have a VPN, and commercial solutions were very expensive, so they said, okay, let's use free software like OpenVPN and stuff like that. And they did it. And then they said, oh, it was working good, let's use some more. And then they switched on the desktop, like with OpenOffice.org, Thunderbird, Firefox, on Windows, and then they decided to do also a Debian-based operating system and deployed it on 11,000 machines worldwide. And and on all international outposts where German people sit in the world. So, and most of the machines still then had dual boot, which was a bad idea, I think. But the benefits were clear. It's extremely high security, because there are not so many viruses and Trojans on Linux. Some, but very few. And the whole concept of a Unix-based system is completely different. It's safer by design, in my opinion. And they also had huge savings. They saved about 30 to 50% per workplace. And the total cost of ownership for one workplace for 1 year was a bit more than €1,000. And that is very low for this extremely demanding environment. And it's the lowest of all ministries of the government in Germany. So, and as I heard, the customer satisfaction initially was okay. They didn't have problems switching to the new environment. So training costs were also very low. But for some reason, it was cancelled. So, and strangely, in 2009, McKinsey, which is rather Microsoft friendly, they made a study and said, okay, your strategy is good. There are problems, for example, the document exchange, of course, like always, but your strategy is good. Keep it and push it even harder. Make your say only open document format is accepted. Put away the dual boot, just boot Linux, stuff like that. And nevertheless, as soon as Mr. Westerwelle or Minister of Foreign Affairs came to power, the project was cancelled. And of course, people asked why, also in the parliament, and the reasons given were, well, no reasons, really. So it was cancelled for political reasons, and that's the sad truth, my opinion. And another sad story that recently happened is the city of Freiburg, where also a consulting company was involved. Okay, Freiburg is rather small, it's 230,000 people. The Black Forest, very beautiful city. If you ever come to Germany, you should visit it. Best weather, most sunshine hours per year. And in 2007, they also decided to switch to OpenOffice.org and to use the open document format. And they deployed it on nearly 3,000 workplaces. And what was bad is that one person was responsible for this project, and it's not enough. He's very ambitious and he tried to push things forward, but it's not enough. So there were problems, of course, because there were no people to take care of situations. So then the mayor commissioned a study about the overall IT strategy, and the study says, okay, do this, this. It's not a bad study on some parts, but on the OpenOffice.org part, it's very bad, because it's full of mistakes. They said OpenOffice.org people developed the open document format, which is nonsense. On the say OpenOffice.org is written in Java. It's not. So it's a bit of a strange story, and they came out with numbers that are crazy. For example, they said in 1 year the people lose €500,000 through to loss of productivity because OpenOffice.org is not working. I mean, that is a fantasy number. It cannot be a real number. But this study killed the project, and now the official numbers read like this: nearly 1 million euros additional costs, and the back migration will take also, of course, some time. The city of Freiburg used this Limux templates manager. They were very, very happy with it because it's a cool thing. And it does not work on the Microsoft Office, of course, so they have to find some solution for this problem. And I think users will like Office 2010 when they see it, because it's different. Okay, this is just I found just a picture of this slide, so it's in German, but it shows how strange these company did the study. They say Microsoft Office is the market leader and it will provide the best software, the most flexible software. It's like marketing material. And the chief of this company that wrote the study, he's the chairman of another company that is Microsoft Gold partner. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so these were 3 examples of the state of some of the most ambitious projects in Germany. To say something positive, the city of Leipzig and the city of Jena are now migrating to open office org. And they had a good plan, they didn't talk about it too much. And yeah, my last slide is perhaps some ideas how to make a free software project successful. What you need and what you got in Munich is strong political backing. The highest member of the administration were always behind this project, always. And you need in every hierarchical stage, you need one person who takes care of this project, who takes care that there's no sabotage, because you can kill this project on every level, even on the lowest. Sometimes it's the easiest to kill it. So you need people you can trust and you will promote this project on every level. I think that's important. And as Leipzig and Jena show, it can be a good PR to have no PR. To come out and say, we did it. We're ready. We are done. We did it. Might be good. Sometimes the opposite might be good to say, okay, we have a plan to do it and to stay in the press. So everybody knows about little success stories and the progress. We have to choose. And of course it's important to get connected and to share solutions. That's one reason I'm here. I'm very happy to hear about what's going on here. And what our, let's call them enemies, are doing very good is lobbying. And that's a problem because free software people usually don't have the time and they don't have the money to do aggressive lobbying. And it's unfortunately an important part of becoming successful. But I think what every project has is a team that loves its job, because otherwise they wouldn't be concerned with free and open source software. There must be some hard blood in it to stay on this rather strange projects that deal with Linux and other funny things. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. I will now take your questions.
Вопросы?
Прошу прощения, я по-русски задам вопрос. Стефан, если возможно, можно чуть-чуть более подробно об экономике проекта Limux? Например, на что были потрачены наибольшие средства в этом проекте? Миграция приложений, выпуск специализированного клиента или на что-то другое? Это важно для того, чтобы понимать, где основные точки, самые проблемные точки проекта.
It's hard to say. It's different on every version. One component that is always problematic is file services using CIFS protocol, because it always changes somehow magically, and the kernel is not always up to date. So if you want to have good file server, you should not use like NetApp or something like this, something proprietary. One thing you have to be careful about is choosing hardware vendors, because you don't want different chipsets on all machines. You want one chipset that you have tested and you know it works. And the most costly part is manpower always. It's always manpower, because you need pay people, good people, to customize things. If you have to do, for example, a back part of the tips kernel module, you have to have somebody who knows how to do it. And they cost money. So it's hard to say that there is one component that is more expensive than the other. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. So hard to say. Okay.
Thank you.
Спасибо. Еще вопросы? Разрешите, я в левую сторону схожу, потому что правая сторона у нас очень активна.
Question about email. This is very strange. Email. Kronos.com, .de. It's very strange. The email. Yes or no?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, but perhaps if you click on it, an email will pop up. It's just,
You don't know, yes?
it looks strange, but it's not. But thanks for pointing out.
Еще вопрос?
Цель наложения патча итерации Common Information Process. Цель. Зачем?
The problem is there are many players in the city of Munich, and some are interested to sell hardware, actually. So, and I think with this NetApp machines, you have a huge margin. So they sold NetApp machines and told the city of Munich, oh, it will work, it will work. It didn't work. So that is a pain. Somebody should have thought about that before. Because it doesn't work. We always have to patch. And we have in Germany one good company, Zernet, who is very active in the Samba deployment. So we have to pay, or the city of Munich has to pay lots of money to get it working. Because there are so many proprietary file servers in the city of Munich. That is a problem. If we would use Samba server, I don't think there would be any problems.
Стефан, я по-русски прошу. Вот скажите, пожалуйста, на клиентской стороне, это очень приятно, что вы с нее начали. Вот как глубоко вы погружаетесь в приложение? Вот, например, сегодня для Московского совета Думы невероятно актуальна задача, как побыстрее убрать улицы города от снега. Вот. И это, скажем, серьезная плановая задача, вот, и она требует серьезных расчетов, потому что затраты сумасшедшие. Так как глубоко вы погружаетесь в приложение на клиентской стороне? Спасибо.
Fortunately, I'm not really into that topic, but I know that there are many problems, because as I said before, there are very old applications written by one person who is long dead, perhaps. So, and you have to wait until the life cycle of this application is over, like, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years, when you can renew the tender for this application. And then you must define in this tender that this new application is operating system independent. That's the only way you can do it. And if it won't work, I mean, the city of Munich, they have a terminal server, of course. They have some things emulated via Wine. And they are using also virtual machines. So there's a whole, there are different tools for different applications and different needs. But you have to have one foot in the Windows side for some years. You cannot switch like this and then you're done. It's not possible. Huh?
Правильно я понял, что это в основном организационные задачи. Правильно я понял, что это в основном задача организационного, а не вычислительного плана? Спасибо.
Александр, разрешите, я тоже по-русски. Пару-тройку недель назад прошла информация по сети, которая обсуждалась, она до сих пор обсуждается, что вы, значит, в документах переходите обратно назад на Microsoft Office. Ваша информация здесь, вы как раз про это тоже говорили, что или это не вы? То есть, когда было принято решение использовать Open Office, открытые документы для работы, а потом через несколько лет работы было принято решение вернуться опять на Microsoft Office, на использование. То есть вот...
You're talking about the city of Munich? Or which project?
Это не Мюнхен.
То есть это не вы, да?
Это не Мюнхен.
No. But they're leaving Open Office right now for LibreOffice. So, that's true.
Хорошо, спасибо. А то я хотел услышать, хотелось бы услышать из первых уст причину этого, потому что обсуждалось это очень широко. Спасибо.
Наташ, можно еще вопрос? Прошу прощения, у меня еще один важный вопрос, на мой взгляд. Скажите, Стефан, можно ли сказать, что проект, который вы делаете в Мюнхене, можно расценивать как стандартный кейс для перехода муниципальных образований на использование свободного ПО и с минимальными адаптациями использовать в других городах, в других странах?
Yeah, very good question. That would be very nice, but the city of Munich has not enough internal resources to provide a generic solution. They do not have this. So somebody else has to do it. And who should do it and why? So you must standardize some things. You have to write some like wizards or some administrational interfaces to make it more generic, because now it's really tailored for the city of Munich, and sometimes their infrastructure is a bit special, so it's not for everybody else easy to use or reasonable to use. But it would, of course, be a fine idea to take this technology that works and make some like wizard who leads you through this process of setting up your infrastructure, like directory server and file server, like the people of Rosa Labs already did, and to minimize the administrational overhead. So, but the question is who should do it, because the city of Munich cannot do it. Other people are obviously not so interested. And for example, I was hoping that the country of Vietnam, who has also an official open source strategy, that they would do something like that, but they also didn't, because it's really cool. You can have a DVD, put it in your computer, say I want to have a server or a desktop, click, 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 and then you have it. And you can scale from like 10 to 10,000 installations, but it does not exist at this point. And somebody has to take care of it. And I don't see somebody who's going to do it. I'm too small.
Thank you.
И последний вопрос.
Вопрос. Возникли ли у служащих Мюнхена проблемы при взаимодействии с федеральными органами? И если возникли, то как они решались?
Yeah, you asked me yesterday the same question, and I didn't hear about big problems in the city of Munich. They have some outside communication, but it is defined by some rules. So they accept PDF and they accept ODTs, and somehow this works fine. And of course, a huge amount of work was making your templates ready, the templates for internal or external use. But once you communicate them with the outside, you can use like PDF formula or something like that. So you don't have to have overall editable documents, just in very few cases. And if you make a well-structured doc in OpenOffice Org 3.2.1 even, and you open it with Word 2007, it still looks rather good. So there is not really a problem if you take some measures to don't let these problems pop up. If you have very mal-formatted doc templates or doc documents, they look horrible when you open them with OpenOffice, of course. But if you take care about some structure and some rules, it goes rather smoothly.
Stefan, yeah, actually, this is the question to continue on Dmitri's one. What is there any public place where the project experience is publicly documented? I understand that having automatic wizards is an ideal solution, but what about some just written text which states your lessons learned, which things worked, which not?
Okay, once again, I'm not speaking for the city of Munich. I'm just freelancer working there, so it's my opinion. But they have a blog, and they have press links to press, to media information. But it's mostly in German, that's a problem. So, but you can find it if you go to Munich.de/Limux. You can find all this documentation. They're working on it, but they are also not enough people to take care of professional PR. That's not their goal. So if you want to know something or want some information, you can contact them directly. They don't say, no, we don't talk to other people. They say, yeah, okay, we want to give you the information.
Okay.